Hi there, everyone. I'm Michelle.
I'm Jim, and we are
Fatigue of Your Own. Welcome to another Motivational Monday.
Let's get motivated. Woo!
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Yes, it is.
And it's gorgeous. And I guess this is officially Indian summer because there was a frost. So, yeah, works for me.
I suppose.
Beautiful weather. The number of boxes in here is going down
Yes, the boxes are disappearing.
dramatically.
And so my guess is by the end of next weekend, we will have pretty much everything put away.
That would be lovely.
We're getting close.
Molly Puppy will appreciate that.
Yes, makes it easier for her to get around.
Yeah.
So it just makes life easier for us. Then we get our weekends back.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm tired of working all week and then having to work all weekend. Putting stuff away.
Yeah.
Tearing up boxes stuff. So, but it's part of the change that we're going through.
Yes.
And speaking of change,
John Maxwell, our good friend
and mentor,
said change is inevitable. Growth is optional. And that's true.
It is true.
It's funny because when I told you we were going to talk about this quote, you're like, yeah, that's true. And I'm like, duh. You think he would say something like that and it wasn't true?
No.
Okay.
But just an observation that is a very, very true statement because, we see it all the time. Change is going to happen no matter what. Mm-hmm. And it is amazing when we come across people who they realize that, things are changing, but some people, they don't want things to change. They want them to stay exactly the same. And that's impossible. That's just not the reality of the world that we live in. The only thing that can stay the same is you, if you opt not to change and grow. And, that's what's always interesting to me is when I come across people who, they know that change is going to happen and they don't, and they're resistant to it. I mean, they not only don't want it to happen, they're outright, completely resistant to it, doing everything they can to keep it from happening. Even though they know that most of the time the change is for the best, but it also means that they're not growing, they're not developing, they're not changing. And, that's something that if you're going to live the life generally that you want. Now, again, talking about these people who don't like change, don't want change, they're living the life they like. Even if that's a life that really is not, most of us would look at as not being very fulfilling. And you wonder why, do you not want to grow and change and develop when you can build yourself a much better life? It's amazing when I see these folks that, they live paycheck to paycheck. They live close to the line. And yet they never want to do anything to get themselves out of that situation. They're perfectly content with doing the minimum that they have to just to maintain a minimal subsistence level of living. And they're fine with that. And yet they're also the same people that will constantly complain they don't have enough money.
Well, and you'll also find people, and we've talked about these types of people before, who they'll finish school, whether it's high school, college, maybe technical school, something like that, and then they'll say, "That's it.
That's it. I'm done.
I'm finished. I'm not
going to learn anything.
I don't want to learn anything else." Yep. And so when that happens, literally their growth.
Yeah, the growth stops.
The withering begins.
Right.
And the odd thing is one day they wake up and they look and everything around them has changed and they haven't.
Right.
And they wonder, why has everything left them?
Yeah.
Why has everybody else moved on and they're still there? Yeah. And it's because they didn't bother to change. They didn't bother to grow. And you have to grow. You have to continue with your growth. It is something that if you're not growing, you are withering away and dying.
Yeah.
And so that's the reason why John tells you change is going to happen no matter what. If you choose to change and you choose to grow through that change, that's completely up to you. And you have to do it. Otherwise, like I said, you're going to get left behind.
Yep. And you end up, living in the past. And, this topic also makes me think of, almost every town has a one or two or even more, tends to be guys.
Yes.
Guys that you see that they had a level of success in high school, and they peak in high school, and they're easy to spot because they're still reliving. They tell the stories of, plays they made in football game or baseball game or whatever. It's like the Bruce Springsteen song, Glory Days. And you see them, they're still wearing their high school leather jackets, even though they're in their late 20s, in their 30s, sometimes even in their 40s, and the darn thing doesn't even fit. And it's because that was the glory days for them. That was it. And they don't grow, they don't develop, they don't realize that, you may have done some spectacular things back then, but there's still a lot more life after that for most people. And you want to be able to say that you've done some wonderful and spectacular things, well after that. I mean, I know if I would have peaked in high school, I would be crushed, thinking that was it. That was the best that I could do. And, part of that also may be that my high school days weren't all that great because of all the moving around. So I had a real tough time with it. But, I would also be upset if I thought that, my college days were the best days for me or anything that I've done in the past. I like to think that, and I know John thinks this way, that your best days are still ahead of you.
Yes.
Anybody ever asked, when are your best days? I said, I don't know. I haven't had them yet. They're still coming up. And that's part of that process of, looking forward and growing and developing. Because again, John's absolutely right. Change is going to happen.
Yes.
It's going to happen whether you do anything or not.
Yes, it is.
But growth, that is optional. And you have to decide and be intentional about it, that you are going to grow and continue to develop and change and take advantage of opportunities and find additional ways to serve people.
Yeah, because the other thing, like you said, is you have to be intentional about it.
Yes, you have to be intentional.
You have to have a plan. You have to figure out, where do I want to grow? What part of my life do I want to focus on and grow that area? What is it I want to learn? What new things do I want to bring into my life? And so you have to be intentional, because if you're not intentional, it's going to happen. It's just going to be kind of haphazard, and the growth journey won't necessarily be a good one.
Right.
Because it needs to make sense for you. It needs to make sense for what it is that you're doing and what you want to accomplish. So keep that in mind when you're looking for, what is it that I want to learn and grow in? What area do I want to do that in? Be intentional about it.
Yeah.
Take a look at your life and decide, what direction do I want to go in?
Right.
And then really be intentional about growing in those areas.
Right. And I think you also have to understand too, that even that can change.
Yeah.
Because one of the other things that you should be doing, in addition to saying, all right, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to focus on, this is where I'm headed, is to be open to new ideas, to new opportunities. Because sometimes you might be headed in one direction and then you come across something else. Now, again, you don't want to fall into the shiny object syndrome the situation where you're going from one thing to another. But sometimes you may think, all right, I'm going in this direction. This is where I'm headed. This is what I'm doing. Because what happened to me.
Yep.
And then an opportunity comes along and you go, hold on a second. That is a great opportunity. I'm going to go that way. And so you shift gears and turn the wheel and you go in a different direction. And that's because, again, what I saw were some very real opportunities that can really help to get us exactly where we want to go.
Yeah. And the other thing is, you have to have the vision.
Yes.
To be able to do that. You have to have the ability to be able to look at where you are and where you want to be and see what can help you get there.
Yeah. What's going to be the quickest and easiest way to get us there? You don't want to take the hard way, not if you can help it. And you know, the universe, we've talked about this before, the universe likes speed. It likes a sense of urgency. And so, you know, finding the quickest and easiest way to get there, provided, again, it is so you can put yourself in a position where you can be more valuable to the world, because that's what it takes.
Yeah.
And yeah, so, and finding that, and that's, again, that's what happened with us. We saw an opportunity and went, yeah, this is going to take us where we want to go.
Yeah.
And I'm more convinced about that every day.
Yeah. Now, if you find yourself sitting there and thinking, well, what direction am I actually going in? Where is it that I need to grow? And you need help with this. If you need help figuring out, you know, what's that grand vision that you have for your life. If you need help figuring out what goals do I need to set for myself so that I'll get closer to making that vision a reality. If you need help figuring out, you know, I think I'm in a fairly good place. I know I need to grow. I'm just not sure which area of my life I need to focus on for that growth. Who could they turn to for help with that?
That would be us.
That would be us. We actually have a couple of programs.
Yes, we do.
That can help with that. If we've got people enrolled in this right now. We've got a coaching program called Goal Getters, which you already know what your goal is. You just need somebody to hold you accountable to it. And that's a 3-month program. We can help you with that. Reach out to us for that. But we also have Ready, Set, Goals that helps you figure out, you know, what is that vision? What are those goals? What's the first step that I need to take? It walks you through that process. So reach out to us if you would like more information or if you need to get started in that. If they want to get started in that area, how could they reach out to us?
Well, you can pick up the phone and give us a call. And notice I did the phone like this because most people are don't do this anymore. Who does that? It's like this smartphone, cell phone. That's what everybody has these days. Could be like some people flip out the flip phone, look like Star Trek.
Mike Dalton.
But yeah. Call us on the phone number 412-420-7975 right there on your screen. If you don't like talking on the phone, that's fine. You can send us a text message at the same number, and we would be happy to get back to you. You can also send us an email, info@ateagueofyourown.com. A Teague, and spelled Teague correctly, Teague. It's like baseball league with a T instead of an L. ateagueofyourown.com. You can also contact us through our website, ateagueofyourown.com. Pretty convenient. Just drop off the info and you got ateagueofyourown.com. We're also on social media. You can contact us through Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and we have a YouTube channel where we have all of these Motivational Mondays recorded. And so you can go back and look at those from even 4+ years ago. And there are lots of them, a lot of different topics. Go find the one that you want. Please, though, if you visit us on any of our social media, like us, and especially on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. We would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you have it, folks. Change is inevitable. Growth is optional. We hope that you continue your path to growth.
And you pick the option to grow.
Yes. And when you need help, reach out to us. All right. Have a great week, and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.